This week is Pashas Ki Seitzei. Ki Seitzei Torah begins, if you go to war and somebody sees a beautiful woman and desires her, should bring her home, make her look ugly for 30 days, and then after 30 days, if he still desires her, he could then marry her. And a lot of Surim write that Ki Seitzei l'machom alavechu, which means when you go out of war against your enemy is Yetzer Hara. The Torah talks there about the war that we all have against our Yetzer Hara. So what I thought to myself, the Torah teaches us, stop for a second before you do. When you have a desire, you have a temptation, stop for a second and think about it. To give an example, let's say somebody doesn't feel well. He goes to the doctor takes blood work, and the results come back, and it shows that person, his blood sugar is very high. That person is on the borderline of becoming diabetic. Now the doctor tells the person, it's a good thing that at least we caught it before it's too late. So if you're going to stop eating sugar and carbs, you'll not become diabetic. So of course, a regular person hears that, you start changing your diet. It goes by a few days, and that person has his favorite bakery, and that bakery sells his favorite Danish. And one day he passes that bakery. A lot of times a bakery has a really good smell. All the cakes and the fresh bread, they smell outside. And he passes by and he smells it and he sees that delicious Danish there. And he wants to go and grab one. But he reminds himself, the doctor told him that he's on the borderline of becoming diabetic. Is he going to go and grab that Danish? No. Why is that? Because he stopped for a second and thought, is it worth to buy a Danish? Is it worth to eat a Danish and then risk myself of becoming diabetic? So a lot of people will dismiss it and say, no, the fear took him over. So let's give a different example. Let's say a person is healthy and he's just overweight. Being overweight is very uncomfortable. It's hard to come, hard to go, hard to sit into the car. And at some point he decides, that's it, I'm going on a diet. And he starts a diet and he starts losing weight. And one day he passes the bakery and he sees that really juicy Danish. Is he going to go and grab it? The answer is no. Why is that? Because he's going to start thinking for a second. I just put in a few months of work. I lost weight. I feel better being skinny. Should I go and ruin everything for one Danish? Is it worth? Because when a person stops and thinks for a second before he does something and he takes it apart, then he sees either it's not as desirable as he thought it is, either it has a lot of side effects. For that overweight person or that person who's in the risk of becoming diabetic, the Danish tastes very good, but the side effects is horrible. And this is exactly what the Torah comes and teaches us. Think a second before you do. You see a good desire. Don't jump on it, because that is exactly how the Yetzer Hara gets a person. He makes a person not think. He makes a person jump on it like a magnet. Like you put two magnets one next to each other. The second there's, I don't know exactly the word, but the second it feels any pull, boom, it jumps one on each other. Second there's one connection. And this is exactly how the Yetzer Hara has the ability of drawing a person into temptation, is by making the person not think. Just jump on it. You see this, jump on it. And this is what the Torah comes and teaches us. Stop for a second and think. Take it apart. Make it look ugly. Look at the side effects. And then see if you still want to do it. And the same thing can be with gossip. Imagine somebody sits with a group of friends and they have a nice conversation, and then he reminds himself about a good gossip, something really bad about his friend. And he wants to say it, but he stops for a second and thinks, what if that person has something bad to say about me? Would I want that person to tell his friends bad things about me? The answer is no. Then why should I do it to him? So, will the person go and say it? No. Why? Because he stopped and he thought about it for a second. And he took it apart. And he saw it wasn't worth it. This is exactly by every temptation. The Yetzer Hara comes to a person and it like blinds the person. Don't think. You see, this is good, go and grab it. Go, whatever, do whatever, just run after it. Without hesitation, without thinking for a second. And this is what the Torah comes and teaches us. Stop for a second. Think about it. Take it apart. Make it look ugly. Look at the side effects. And this is the way you'll be able to defeat your Yetzer Hara. And when you defeat the Yetzer Hara, you bring a light to yourself and to the world. Have a wonderful day.